It's the store your father has cherished. So I think you should listen to his opinion, I suggested to Max, who was blabbering about the cash flow problem. My husband Max, who refused to listen to me, said, "This is my store now, and I am the boss. So don't disobey me." The second-generation president with no experience and an arrogant attitude will be punished very soon. I am Carrie, a 32-year-old housewife. My husband Max is 6 years older than me, and we've been married for 3 years now. We have no children. Max works for my father-in-law's fresh seafood store. The store located in a shopping arcade for a long time, and it used to be a lively street when Max was little. But now, the vibrantness has gone with shutters down, even during the daytime. Since a commercial facility was opened nearby, it has become difficult to run the store. Even on holidays, when the parking lot of the commercial facility is full, it is rare to see more than a few people walking along this arcade. However, my father-in-law still goes to the fish market every morning to stock up on fresh fish for his store. Thanks to his efforts, the store is still lined with the same fresh fish as it was in the past. But times have changed, and it seems like a mirage that they were sold out by the evening. Yet, my father-in-law's customers are still coming to the store because they are fascinated by his personality. Max's mother passed away from illness when Max was a child. After that, my father-in-law single-handedly raised Max on his own. Max and I live in an apartment nearby parents-in-law's house. Our dream is to eventually build a house, and for now, we are living a simple, modest life for our future. My father-in-law is very supportive of us. He gives us fresh fish every day, always more than we can eat. Recently, we have been visiting my father-in-law's house more and more often to eat with him. The more time I spend with my father-in-law, the more I love his kindness and humanity. My father-in-law loves to drink. He drinks with Max and happily talks about the old days. Although it was the same story every time, I loved that scene so much that I wanted to watch it for the rest of my life. But the happiness didn't last so long. My father-in-law's store was even more difficult to run than I had expected. But he still went to buy fresh fish every morning. Whenever I saw the dinner he served using his fresh fish, I sighed instead of delight. However, my father-in-law still runs the store. I didn't feel right to interface. Max was trying to say something to his father, but I stopped him. But one evening at dinner, my father-in-law, unhappy with the way Max was working, gave him a warning.
"Hey son, you know Mr. Hudson, our regular customer, right? He told me that he couldn't carry on a conversation with you the other day, 'cause you were on your phone all the time. You are in charge of the store when I'm not there. So please do better,"
he said half-jokingly, and Max snapped.
"Oh, the regular? The old guy, huh? He just talked a lot and tells me the same story over and over again. I don't know why you want to waste your time with them. That old man talked a lot, but he only bought a piece of fish. I'd be glad he stops coming, don't you think?"
My father-in-law's face changed at that comment.
"What are you saying, son?" Mr. Hudson says he looks forward to coming to the store every day. He's been coming to the store for decades. How dare you treat such a loyal customer like that? He comes here with his walking stick, going over several supermarkets just to buy a piece of salmon. You should be grateful.
Max was upset even more and said,
I would have told him to go to that supermarket instead of coming all the way here. I don't want to be patronized for only a few bucks. Well, seems like I still can't trust you with the store.
When my father-in-law said to that Max, he couldn't keep his mouth shut.
I mean, you are too old-fashioned. What are you doing buying tons of fresh food that you can't even sell and forcing ourselves to eat it for dinner every night? You know, the store isn't making profit, right? If that's the case, there should be a better planning, like stocking up more canned or frozen fish that lasts longer. What are you doing, struggling yourself by thinking about others?
To be honest, I was thinking Max had a point, but my father-in-law was determined.
That's no good. It's going to shake the relationship we've built with our customers. They trust me. They come to the store because they trust me. If I did such a thing, I would destroy what we have built up over the years. I want to sell the freshest fish at the best price to the customers who come to my store. Look, if you don't want to run the store, I don't care. I'm not going to change my mind.
With that, he went up to his room. That was the end of the day. I thought they would make up soon because they were father and son. But after that big fight, my father-in-law and Max rarely spoke to each other. They stopped drinking together, even though they used to enjoy drinking together so much. They also stopped talking at dinner, and gradually we didn't get to eat together. It was during these days that my father-in-law became ill. He had always loved to drink, so his liver was weakened, and he was unable to come to the store for more and more days. Whenever his father can't, Max would go to the market to stock up. The main attraction of the store, it's supposed to be fresh fish, but most of what Max got was canned or frozen fish. Max is trying to do his own way. My father-in-law was ill himself, and he no longer said anything. The regulars who came to talk to my father-in-law every day made a U-turn and left when they saw that he wasn't there. I'm sure he wanted to come back, but he's getting older now. His health is not as good as we would like it to be. So my father-in-law gave up and decided to give the store to Max. Max was very motivated, and I thought that was a good thing. I thought it would be nice if the day come when he and my father-in-law could get along again and enjoy drinking together.
Let's try something new for a while, Max said to me. Once the store is back on its feet, I'm hoping we can stock fresh fish again and make it like my dad's store. But I'm the boss now, and Carrie, you are the boss's wife.
I sympathize with him, and even if it's difficult right now, I think it would be wonderful if we could someday have a store with fresh fish like my father-in-law's store. So I continued to help with accounting and paperwork for the store. When he first took over the store, Max made flyers and stuff. But things didn't go very well. I guess he didn't enjoy it because the result didn't come along quickly. Eventually, Max stopped going to the market. The next thing I knew, the store was filled with canned and frozen food, not a single fresh fish. However, this didn't mean that we didn't make a profit. We have also opened an online store and slowly increasing the number of new customers.
See? I told you we can increase our sales with my help. Dad really should have left the store to me earlier,
he said. I couldn't say anything about it because sales were actually going up. My father-in-law, who had complained at first, didn't say anything anymore. Contrary to my expectations, the rift between father and son has only deepened. Lately, I haven't seen them even exchanging a word. Finally, Max took advantage of this and started going out of town for business trips. And Max wanted me to expense whatever money he spent there. He brought a lot of receipts, taking advantage of the fact that I was the accountant. I didn't accuse him of most of it, but there were more and more things that I couldn't help but notice. I told Max that such misconduct would not be tolerated and that we would be in a big trouble later. But Max, as expected, would not listen to me. As we were talking, he told me that he was going to LA tomorrow for a business trip. He also handed me a receipt for reserved plane tickets for 2 people this time. Who are you going with? I said.
Huh? Chill out. He's just a consultant. Someone you don't know. Anyway, I'm going to bed now. I have an early day tomorrow, and I'm tired.
He wouldn't listen to me at all. I cried in frustration that night. The next day, I couldn't keep quiet. So I talked to my father-in-law about it.
I'm sorry you were having such a hard time, Carrie, he said.
He asked me to have dinner with him for the first time in a while. Then I went to my parents-in-law's house and talked to him about what happened yesterday. My father-in-law is a very sincere man. As we talked, I gradually opened up to him and told him that I was suspicious of Max's recent behavior. Then my father-in-law opened his mouth even though he was a little hesitant.
The truth was, Carrie, Max has not been in the store these days. He told me not to tell you, so I kept quiet.
I was surprised because Max always coming home saying he was tired. And my suspicions became more and more certain that Max was having an affair. Everything made sense. Too many business trips, receipts, and this time a business trip to LA. And he even took $3,000 of store money without permission. I had no choice but to investigate thoroughly. When I told my father-in-law everything, I felt much better. And I was ready to fight. My father-in-law said he would help me, and I was grateful for him. Then Max came back. He said the trip was to receive a consultation, but it didn't look like he learned a single thing. He gave out a lot of receipt to me like it was nothing. No, you can't expense them. You'll get into a lot of trouble if you keep doing this. When I said that to him, Max expressed his anger.
What? Who do you think you were talking to? I'm the man. So shut your mouth. You just listen to me and do what I say. I snapped. No way. How can you talk to me like that after all the support I gave you?
Do you even have any idea of our recent sales? We don't get enough orders from the online store anymore, as if it's already closed. Even when we open the store, all that comes in is air.
If you don't work, there's no income. You know that, right?
Everything I have been holding back until now has come out. Then Max became furious.
Shut up! I'm divorcing you anyway. I've written the divorce papers right here. You are the reason the business don't go well.
As he handed me the divorce papers, already filled out, he was even cursing me. I was so frustrated that I called my father-in-law right away, and he came to see me. He was at the store that day, and I was worried about his condition. I am sorry. How was the store today? You feel okay? I said to him.
No worries. No one comes to the store anyway.
He laughed and said it was no big deal. Just talked to him a few words, and I began to cry.
I'm sorry. I couldn't do anything for you, Gary. You've been through a lot.
My father-in-law said.
Please, call this number and this person will help you, okay?
He gave me a business card. It was a lawyer's name. My father-in-law continues.
I'm sorry, Carrie, but the store is over. Or rather, has been over for a long time. It was over when it was not a fresh fish store anymore. Carrie, I think you should leave, my son. You don't have to go through this nonsense anymore.
I agreed with my father-in-law. I always felt guilty because I felt like I was a part of a fraud. To tell you the truth, it's a relief that I can get away from that. I'm going to sign and submit these divorce papers. You were always there for me, and I'm gonna miss you so much.
Well, maybe it's gonna be better. We can get together as friends from now on, you know?
He smiled at me and said so. Soon after, I called the lawyer. I gave him my father-in-law's name. He immediately said yes and started listening to me. It was a quick conversation.
Let's go to the lawyer's office together with the deed of the land.
My father-in-law said.
This guy is one of our regulars and a good friend of mine. My own son can't run a business anymore. You should also visit this private detective later. I know the guy very well. You can trust him. Carrie, I love you as if you are my own daughter. I want you to be happy.
He was right beside me through all this, trying to settle things quickly for me. I told the lawyer what was going on, and he went to work on it immediately. And the lawyer was decent enough to understand the situation and said, I think it's better to ask the detective to take care of it. Let me handle everything. Don't worry. Your father has been very kind to me. I'm happy to return the favor. I don't know if I'm repaying him by exposing his son's affair, though. The lawyer laughed. That's okay. I am more concerned about this beautiful daughter than my stupid son. He laughed and said it was his duty to correct his son's misdeeds. I, for the time being, decided to stay at a business hotel. I was already exhausted being attacked by Max. Soon,
We had tons of evidence of his infidelity. When I had all the materials, I went to see Max. And then Max acted as if nothing had happened. To my dismay.
Well,
We gathered a tons of evidence of your infidelity. I would divorce you as you wanted, but you would have to pay all the money. I'll make sure both you and your precious girlfriend pay. As I was saying this, my father-in-law arrived. I'm done with the store. What kind of business owner you are? Doesn't show up or doesn't stock up the shelves. So Max, the store is closed. Don't worry, the paperwork is already taken care of. You'd better get a job. It costs a lot of money to fool around, right son? And you can't write it off as an expense anymore, he said sarcastically. Max looked a little frustrated. What do you mean the store is closed? You can't do that. I'm the owner now. I can sue you, you know. My father-in-law, on the other hand, was calm. Son, you said you would take over the business, but you didn't do anything about it. Everything was still in my name. Were you even aware of it? So I took care of all that. You have nothing to do with the store now. And then I went after Max, who was in shock. I will go file the divorce paper now.
thank you for everything. Since you were gone a lot, I was able to move out without a hitch.
Carrie, wait, please, Max said as if he was whispering. There was no way I was gonna wait. Soon after I left home, I rented an apartment near my new office. The move was completed in half a day. Divorce papers were filled and was finalized. I am free now. What happened to my father-in-law? Well, he sold the house and the store. My father-in-law's connections are amazing. Because of his good-natured personality, everyone wanted to help him. My father-in-law was a well-known figure in the arcade, so he had a lot of admirers. He's been saving up for nursing homes since he was young. He found a great nursing home right away. And of course, everyone welcomed him. One day when I went to see him, I was so relieved to see him looking so happy. Well, now let the lawyers take care of the rest. Carrie, you're a good girl. You have to be happy. Okay? My father-in-law told me. I can't believe he is the parent of a lousy ex-husband, Max. How sweet and warm person he is. I thought to myself, if there is one thing I can be thankful to Max, is that I met my father-in-law. I later found out that the person he was having an affair with was a young girl. She was really young, about the age of a university student. When my lawyer contacted her, she told him she didn't know it was wrong to have an affair. What an excuse! So he contacted her parents as well to ask for alimony. Then the couple broke up as expected. Max lost his job, his family, and his girlfriend. Adding to this, he also evaded taxes. Seems like when the company went bankrupt, he was investigated. He was hit with unpaid tax bill. He couldn't get a loan from the bank, So he borrowed money from a consumer credit company. Hope it wasn't a loan shark. Max is currently working part-time at a late-night gas station and construction site. I really think that he could work so hard. He should have started working in the first place. The only thing I think is great about him is that he is scared of the lawyers and the alimony is never delayed. My father-in-law and I contact each other regularly. Every time I hear his voice, he sounds full of life. And as for me, I'm working every day. Work has helped me through the times when I was somewhat lonely. I think I'm gonna take a break from romance for a while. Thanks to the alimony, I've made a lot of money. And now, I'm thinking about buying a condo. I promise myself to continue to work hard and become a truly independent woman.